Hey folks, something exciting happened last night. Well, exciting if you've got a Ryzen 3000 CPU and an Asrock X570 motherboard anyway. Now, Smart Access Memory, AMD's much hyped performance boosting feature for the RX 6000 series of graphics cards, was initially only usable if you had the combination of a 500 series motherboard and a CPU from the new Ryzen 5000 lineup of processors. Now though, this feature has trickled down and is usable with Ryzen 3000 series CPUs, and on my X570 Taichi motherboard, BIOS version 4.0 unlocks this previously blocked feature. So today we're going to test it out and see how it fares across a few games. Now the system that I'm using is featuring the X570 Taichi with BIOS 4.0, 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 memory, the Reference RADEON RX 6800, and I'm going to be using a Ryzen 9 3900 XT, overclocked to 4.35 GHz across all 12 cores. Now when I last benchmarked the 6800 I was using an overclocked 3700X, so I've rerun all these tests specifically for this video. All the games were up to date and the Radeon software driver version used is 21.1.1. So let's see if this inclusion of Smart Access Memory, or Resizable bar as it's called in the BIOS, actually does anything when using a 3000 series CPU. So first up we've got Watch Dogs Legion on the Ultra preset at 1440p with ray tracing turned off. And disappointingly, it does absolutely nothing. There's no increase and there's no decrease. If we were being pedantic, I could measure about a 1% increase in average FPS, but on the whole, it was pretty much identical. We'll go back in time a bit now. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, again 1440p on the highest quality preset. And here things start to get a little bit interesting. With Resizable bar or Smart Access Memory turned on, we see a 6% increase in average FPS, and a 4% increase to the 1% lows. Now this was repeatable time and time again, and it didn't really matter which section of the game you were running in, there was a tangible uplift in performance wherever you were playing. Now on to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 1440p again on the Ultra preset. And in Valhalla, you would be forgiven in thinking that we're actually running a 6800 XT here instead of the 6800. But no, this is simply turning on that resizable bar feature in the BIOS. Average FPS gets a boost by 12%, that's 10 FPS. And the 1% lows sees an 11% increase. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it, from simply turning on a toggle in the BIOS of your motherboard. So just like in the initial benchmarks you might have seen on launch day, which were using Ryzen 5000 series CPUs, it's not a one-hit boost for every game. That said, having the option to turn it on Ryzen 3000 series CPUs is certainly much better than not having it at all. And make no mistake, when games are being developed for the PS5 and Xbox series of consoles, which themselves use Zen 2 cores and the RDNA 2 architecture, these features will be used going forward. And as you can see in games like Valhalla, which is an AMD sponsored title, when a game is designed with the feature in mind, the performance gains can be significant. So I only expect this to be more relevant as time goes on. So if you own an RDNA 2 card and you're still using an older CPU like I am, then do yourself a favour and check out your motherboard manufacturer's support page to see if a new BIOS has been released. And if you're running an older Ryzen CPU and maybe a different GPU, I would genuinely love to know if you're seeing any benefit or difference if you turn on the feature. There have been rumblings about Nvidia activating the feature on some of their RTX 3000 series cards down the line, and I would love to know also if any owners of RDNA 1 cards are seeing any sort of benefit to turning on this feature at all. I'm going to leave it there for today folks, short and sweet. It's great to see this feature being rolled out to the older Ryzen CPUs, but let me know what you think of it, and if any of you have had a try of it on your system. For now though, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you all in the comments section down below, and in the next video.